Hello friends, welcome back. And in this lecture, we are going to discuss about the static member functions and the static variables. Basically, we are just going to discuss about the static variables to keep the video short. And in the next video, we will discuss about the static member functions, why they are needed and what is their use. Okay. So let us see what is the static variable, right? So if you have to declare a static variable, you can declare it like this, a static int I, something like this. And what is the significance of a static variable inside a class? Okay, so the simple answer is that static variable will have a simple copy, a single copy for all objects of that class. Okay, what does this mean? Suppose if this is not a static variable and if you have written simply like int I, then in that case, any number of objects you create for test class and you give the value of I through this constructor. I have created a constructor as well, which takes one argument, and uh, through this argument, I'm, setting this value inside the inside the class for this variable. Okay, so if I will create the test class objects, number of test class objects, and then in that case, every object will contain its own copy of I. Suppose I create like this test class T1 and then I give like 10, and if I give like test class T2 and if I give like 20, then in that case if I print T1 dot test I, which is written for printing the value of I, then in that case this will print 10. For T1 it will print 10, and for T2 it will print 20. Okay, so if you run this, 10 and 20 will be printed. Different values will be printed because each object has its own copy, right? But in case you make it static, then what will happen? It will only have a single copy. If you have written like T1 10 and then you have written like T2 20, then this I will be overridden by this 20. Getting my point? This I will be overridden by this 20. So this 20 will override this function, this particular value, the 10, which was set by T1, right? If you want to see it, let us run it. Okay, there is a error, right? Why there is error? Because whenever you are creating a static member variable, then in that case you must need to define that static member variable outside the class, right? The reason is that the static variables and the static functions, this also you need to note it down, that static variables and functions are not the part of object class. They are not the part of the object, right? Just like the functions are not the part of the object, similarly, the static members, variables, they are not the part of the class. And static member functions, they are also not the part of the, class. They are not working on any object. They don't work basically on any object, right? Static member functions, we will discuss in coming videos, they don't work on any of the object. Okay, so let us see what is the meaning of defining this. Just like here it says unresolved external symbol, right? It is saying that I don't know I, which you are accessing. Why? Because we have not defined it. We have declared it, right? So inside the class, if you have any static member variable, then in that case, you need to define it outside the class. How you will define it? Simply, you need to write like this, int, the type of the member variable, and then the class name, test class, and then the variable name I, and then declare it with -1 or whatever you want to do, -1 0. Now it will give you the correct result. Okay, now I'm going to run it. So in this case, you can see both have become 20 because this T220 has overridden this value I. So this value I will be common for all the objects, right? So this is how these static member variables, change the behavior of your, entire program, right? So in this small video, you might have understood the basic understanding of these static member variables, right? In the next video, we will see a use of this, how we can use this, right? How we can have a use of this static member variables for object counting. So that we are going to see. Okay. So I hope you might have enjoyed it. So please like, share this video, like this video, subscribe my channel if you have not yet subscribed, and press the bell icon so that you can get the notifications whenever I add something new on this channel. So with this, I conclude this video and have a nice day and